There's something strange with the ownership
Yes.
of that land.
Yes.
Because if anyone commercially minded bought it, it would have, your Skinwalker Ranch t-shirts and your Skinwalker Ranch porridge. They would have turned it into UFO Disneyland. But they would have, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
No, I would go.
I would
Yeah.
go.
Absolutely
Yeah.
go
We
to
would
that.
do an episode there.
Yeah. Hello! Welcome to Believe. I'm Phil Green.
And I am David Ferguson.
And this is a podcast all about the world's craziest mysteries, conspiracy theories, and shape-shifting weirdos.
Well, I have lost a lot of weight.
You have.
Yeah.
Beautiful thing. It's a beautiful story, but not for this podcast. This is a podcast all about the world's craziest mystery conspiracy theories, and in each episode we bring on a guest. That guest just picked a mythical conspiracy theory they want to talk about, and then we write to prove it, debunk it, or neither. And this one is the mother of all conspiracies.
Oh my God, it's a hat on a hat on a hat. Like it's just everything.
It's an all-in-one.
It's an all-in-one. It's fantastic.
It's an amazing. You're going to love this. It is one of the most fascinating things we've ever dug into.
It really is.
If you enjoy this podcast, please give us a little review on Amazon or Spotify or Apple, wherever you get your podcast. Give us a little 5 stars. That'd be lovely because it helps boost us up the rankings a bit, doesn't it?
It does. It does. And you can help us materialize.
Yes.
In the winning podcast. I
He
don't know
doesn't
what
know
I was
talking about.
I don't know
Help
what I'm
us,
talking about.
help you.
Yes, help us help you.
Yeah.
No, you help us. No, I don't know.
The more 5 stars we get, the more of these episodes we can make. So it makes a big difference to our lives.
It does, because obviously I need the help.
He really does.
Yes.
Now, I am doing a little mini tour of my 2025 show, A Broken Man's Guide to Fixing Others, an award-nominated show. I will be going to Cambridge, Leicester, Liphook, Glasgow, Southampton, Stratford-upon-Avon, and Sudbury over the next couple of months. And the Leicester show, which is on the 13th of February, you will also be doing a show directly after mine.
I will. I'll be at the Globe along with you. I'm doing my show, David Ferguson Trivial Pursuit, on the 13th and the 14th of February at the Leicester Comedy Festival. So go to the website, Leicester Comedy Festival. You can see our tickets, or just go to the link below.
Yeah, there's nothing there. Just go to the show notes of this episode. Or you go to philgreencomedy.com, or you can go on to @LoveDavidFerguson and you'll find links there. But please come along. It'll be a lot of fun.
It will be.
And who is today's amazing guest?
The bad boy himself, Steve Mayne.
Yes, the main man. Steve is a former city trader who is now the creator of London's premier storytelling show, Tall Tales and Cocktails, which will be celebrating its 50th show this year. He's also the host of Comedy Incorporated, which runs 3 shows a week. He's been on the BBC and many other TV appearances and has some of the best hats in the business.
He really does.
Really does.
He wears many hats.
Yes, he wears many hats. I can't because I have a tiny pinhead.
And I can't because I have a huge head.
Yeah, we're the opposite of Steve, we're basically. Yes. And what is the mythical conspiracy that Steve has chosen?
Skinwalker Ranch.
Skinwalker Ranch.
That skin, it's walking.
Strap in, bitches, because this is a big one. Let's bring on Steve.
Yes.
Get out of the rabbit hole.
It's a fake. Every single bird in the sky is a robot.
It's fiction.
Doubt your government.
It's an urban legend.
If they're actually spraying something in the sky.
No way.
A stream of absurdity.
It's a total fabrication.
Welcome to the podcast, Steve Mayne!
The main man
The
himself.
main man. He's here. He's had a haircut.
Haircut and shave just for you two. Brilliant.
And a shower? Did you have a shower?
Yeah, well, I have to have one once a year if I want to or not.
And you did it for us.
I did just for you.
The hair looks really silky.
Oh, thank you.
Really silky. Quite 90s boy band-esque
I've
as
been
well.
trying to. Well, I did for a long time go for bassist of 90s grunge band. And that didn't get me very far.
No.
So I thought I'd go for 90s boy band. But I'm thinking more the backing dancers, the ones that are just in the band for their hair,
Right.
not for their musical or singing abilities.
That would be most of them.
That would be most of them.
That would be my favorites.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, if I was friends with Gary Barlow, I'll be one of the 4 fat backing singers at the back. That would be me. Obviously not Rob.
But you lost weight now.
I have. Do you know what happened? So I used to do a joke about looking like the comic book guy from The Simpsons.
Yeah.
And someone
Say a
came,
joke.
Well, yeah, an introduction
Yeah.
to a amount of time on stage.
Fairly accurate facts about yourself.
That was supposed to create humour in an audience. Someone came up to me and they went, "Yeah, you're not fat enough to say that anymore."
No.
And honestly, David, no one's ever said anything nicer to me my whole life.
You-
I was like, "Oh, that's so lovely."
You have
He
to set
said
it
not
down.
fat enough.
Not fat enough. Yeah, they didn't say I was thin. They just said you're not fat enough
Okay.
to say that. And honestly, still the nicest thing anyone's ever said to me.
Thing.
I have spent a year losing weight and I'm still fat.
You did a joke about it on Sunday.
I haven't seen you in months, and now we're like spending 3 days together. Like, saw you Sunday, seeing you today, and I'm on
Oh,
Thursday.
so you're doing the gig in Bexley?
Yeah.
On Saturday, you're coming to the charity show.
No.
For the benefit of the audience, Steve does a lot for charity.
In all fairness, I have to balance out all the bad things I did for the
Yes.
first 43
Yeah.
years.
You know how we said we weren't going to talk about your criminal convictions, and now you've gone straight into it.
Just trying to balance up the charity thing.
You said, oh, I don't really want to talk about it. We went, okay,
But
we won't
we're
talk
not.
about it. And you brought it up.
And you brought it up.
You keep mentioning it.
Right, let's move off that. Let's talk about the fact your hair looks like Rachel from Friends. I think that's a nice thing.
Whatever.
Yeah, whatever. But yes, do you feel better? Do you feel... Well, actually, your knee's fucked as well.
My knee's really good. So I was supposed to have knee surgery tomorrow.
Yeah.
This was the highlight before knee surgery, and then
This was the highlight.
the highlight before knee
Fucking
surgery.
hell.
And that's the rock and roll life I lead.
Yeah.
And then they phoned me on Friday. I got a cancellation on Wednesday. I got super excited because my knee's in agony. I can't walk properly. Going up
been
and
like
down
that for months as well,
Yeah,
hasn't
months and months. And my right knees, I've already had surgery on, so I've got like 2 bad knees.
Yeah.
And especially like some of the stages when you're going up and down like 5 flights of stairs.
Yeah.
Like 8-10 times at this AM show just to let people on. I'm like, could I just sit on the stage? Just sit on in the corner. What are is it the Muppets and they sit in the corner, the 2
Statler
grumpy
and
old
Statler and
men?
Waldorf, yeah.
Maybe we could do that.
Yeah.
Or Robert and Jacob.
Well, welcome, Jacob Marley. We went to the Muppet Christmas Carol sing along on Saturday because that's the kind of rock and roll lifestyle we lead.
So good.
Did you have super fun?
That was loads of fun.
Sing-alongs?
Joy. I had joy. It was wonderful.
Proper joy. Like
Yeah.
filling your heart.
Sing along Muppet Christmas Carol sells out every year.
So, if you had to go for the top 3 sing-alongs, I would go Muppet Christmas Carol, then
Yep.
number 1.
Obviously.
Rocky Horror, number 2.
Yeah, it's a good choice.
And then Sound of Music, possibly number 3.
Definitely Sound of Music number 3. I don't know about Rocky Horror being number 2 because
What about Mamma Mia?
I fucking hate Mamma Mia.
Yeah, no, but it'd still be a good sing-along if we were there and we'd had a few drinks, we had a couple of cocktails, and like Mamma Mia came on or Dancing Queen, we would sing along.
I went to sing along Little Shop of Horrors, and I really love the songs and that. So that was my favorite, but I don't know if that's necessarily the best.
I like. Have you ever watched Muriel's Wedding? Muriel's
That
Wedding's one.
doesn't have a sing along, sure.
Well, Muriel's Wedding is technically a musical based on ABBA songs. If you
Yes,
think about it.
and then Mamma Mia happened, and
Yeah.
they said we have nothing to do with Muriel's Wedding except we've stolen everything from Muriel's Wedding
Ow.
except the cancer story.
And I much prefer Muriel's Wedding.
Muriel's Wedding
Yeah.
is a brilliant movie, and is it Toni Collette?
Toni Collette.
That's probably she's in Hereditary as well, and she's brilliant. Very different movies. Don't go and watch one and then expect the other one to be a barrel of laughs. And the accents, wherever she's like, her accents are on point. She's just a wonderful, wonderful.
I think there should be a Sixth Sense sing along. I think that'd be a nice.
Sixth Sense sing along.
Yeah.
Do you know what needs a sing along?
What's that?
The Blues Brothers.
Yeah.
There's legalities
Brothers
around
sing-
that.
That must have a sing along.
Sing-along.
Prince Charles Cinema has done a Blues Brothers sing along, but like there's
Do we
weird.
get to say it's dark and we're wearing sunglasses?
So, I didn't go, so I don't know.
There'll be an action for that. It's not just a sing along. There's also actions and things you have to remember.
Okay.
So when someone comes on screen, you have to do certain things. Like Rocky Horror has this anyway, right?
Yeah.
Like people throw it
They
right.
kind of invented it.
Yeah, they did, and they've just ripped it off for multiple films.
Yeah. You know, but like my favorite sing along, and it wasn't a sing along, was Showgirls.
What as in?
Yeah.
What as in showgirls?
Showgirls,
as in
the first-
15-year-old boys' dream showgirls.
Oh God, no, I don't know.
As in Jesse from Saved by the Bell.
Yeah.
Showgirls is one of the worst movies ever made, and I adore
Is it though?
with every
I don't
fiber.
think it's that bad.
It's
I don't
not
think
that
it's
bad.
that bad.
Love it.
Also, I think there's a quality of movie that is so bad it's still enjoyable. And normally B movie horror movies do this brilliantly well. So there's currently a take on Popeye the Sailor Man.
Oh, it's awful.
Right, it's genuinely terrible. It's on, I believe it's on Amazon Prime. Other streaming services are available, but it's so terrible bad.
Yeah.
It's so awful, and the way the camera angles change when their heads suddenly explode, you can't stop watching it because you're like, how was this made? It was like they can make a movie.
Yeah.
Why can't I make a movie? There's a Attack of Killer Clowns from Outer Space is also one of those like so bad it's good.
I saw that as a kid
Yeah.
from the video store, and it terrified me. So I have a weird veneer of of it legitimately scaring me.
Yeah, not perfection doesn't always work. It's
Yeah,
not
in
right.
horror, I think that's particularly prevalent. You're right about that. Yeah, something about the sort of rustic nature of a low budget that you make things happen.
So Australia makes brilliant horror movies.
They do.
They really do. And I think it's, I don't know what you guys think, but I think it's because you actually can have a sense in Australia of actually being alone. I think in London, you could feel you're alone. And sometimes we feel we're alone mentally, but actually you're surrounded by 100,000 people, right? Go somewhere in London and not be near someone who's 100 meters.
Yeah.
It's virtually impossible. Okay. In Australia, you could probably be 20 miles away from an individual. So actually that feeling of complete loneliness and helplessness exists more there. And it comes across in some of the movies. Wolf Creek. Oh,
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
Weirdly, Wolf Creek is a horror movie that I don't love, not because I don't think it's good. I actually think it's worthwhile. It's just, it puts me somewhere I don't like.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I definitely wouldn't want to be there either.
Yeah.
When he's going, I'm Godzilla, you are Tokyo. Yeah, it sends shivers down the spine.
And that's such a great like horror performance. But it's like, oh.
Brilliant.
But
the series, they made a series of it.
I didn't know that.
It's not quite as good, but there's also there's a few brilliant Australian horror movies. There's one about I can't remember the name, but it's like a high school type movie. So we've seen that genre loads before. And the woman's trying to get a date and she's not the prettiest girl. And she manages to get a date. And then all of a sudden the date's back at the house and they find out they've been like making all of the other dates like mentally.
Oh, I've seen that. It is excellent.
It's do you know what it's called?
Yeah, I can't remember. No, but I know
what
exactly.
a brilliant film!
It's pretty good. It is pretty good.
It's
Yeah.
so scary.
It's insane.
It's so scary.
saw
And
that
there's a
at
film
Fright Fest
called
and
The
I can't
Babadook, which
Oh, The Babadook's amazing.
The Babadook. I think it took me 7 attempts to watch that all the way through, which I think says more about my personal traumas than it does about anything else. But oh my God, that film is scary.
love The
And
Babadook.
it's so well done.
It is.
It's simply brilliant. Like if you want a good scare at Christmas, because it is the time of year, but a Babadook. Do you know what I mean?
Nicely brought back round. Although, to be honest, this will go out in January, so it doesn't really matter.
It doesn't matter. I hope
But
you enjoyed your
speaking
Christmas. Yeah.
of being in remote areas, we all did a lot of research for this episode. I thought, great, we won't slip into becoming a film review podcast again. And yet, Steve, what do you think about Mr. Conspiracies and that sort of thing?
Right. I believe there is an element of truth in some, but most of them are bollocks. I think that's the general consensus on conspiracies and myths.
Depends who you're talking to.
Well-
Generally, yes. Most guests we have on are of that opinion. Some a bit more extreme. Others don't believe at all.
I think when you go back like through the concept of humankind, we've used stories as a moral guide.
Yeah.
And I think the stories get slightly twisted when the morals become more important, especially if it's so you're saving each other's lives, for example. And I think that's where the myths and conspiracies come from. But I do find it incredibly interesting that in most major religious texts and historical documents, there was a giant flood.
Yep.
Right, that's quite universal. I also find it absolutely bonkers how the pyramids in the different geographical locations around the globe still all point to the same stars and have been made that long ago without anyone really understanding how to. I think this is really interesting to find out.
It's like Graham Hancock says, we are a species with amnesia. We
Yeah,
don't
but
know our history.
also on the Graham Hancock stuff, he'll go through and say, we aren't the first civilization of humans.
Yeah.
Or our concept of what humans is. So if our concept of humans is the dominant species on this planet. He reckons, not he reckons, but people on his ilk reckon that there actually might have been 3 or 4 different incarnations. The pyramids are a lot older than we give them credit for, especially underneath what we can see, in the sheer foundations. So there could have been a dominant species, then an ice age, then a dominant species, then an ice age, then a dominant species, then an ice age. And we're just one of these many incarnations of them.
Yeah.
And we just haven't found everything yet, which might lead us nicely onto what we might be talking about, Mr. Green.
Very nicely done. Thanks, Steve.
That's all right.
You can tell he's done TV before, can't you? So, Skinwalker Ranch. Now, this one, I know you actually brought this to my attention because I didn't know about this, but this is, it's a bit niche, but it's actually quite well known in the US, I think. It's quite a famous one. There's an enormous amount of content about this on YouTube, which Steve has spent the last 3 days
I have.
binging on.
Oh my God, I am so excited.
So in the far-flung reaches of Utah's Basin, In the far reaches of Utah, where the night sky yawns wide and dark over miles of sagebrush and stone, sits a patch of land that has become synonymous with dread. To those who speak of it in hushed tones, locals, investigators, and the few who claim to have seen its strangest visitors, Skinwalker Ranch feels less like a place and more like a threshold, a door creaking between familiar world and something far older, far stranger, and perhaps not meant for human understanding. This 512-acre ranch has for decades lured scientists, thrill seekers, and storytellers alike with tales of shapeshifters, spectral beasts, disembodied voices, hovering lights, and mutilated cattle. But behind every sensational storyline is the same chilling question: what exactly is happening on this land and why? So this one is one of those conspiracies that is kind of a blend of loads of different things all coming into one. It's got paranormal, it's got UFOs, it's got a little bit of sort of government conspiracy cover-up going on. There's loads in this one, isn't there?
Oh my God, I absolutely love this.
Yeah.
Right, so not only is there a little bit on YouTube, there's 6 seasons on National Geographic.
Yeah, there is actually loads.
Right? And I've been watching quite a bit of it in the last 72. Not being able to walk has assisted my study for this.
And we're so grateful for that injury.
We are. Thank you for having bad bones.
Yeah.
So it's called Skinwalker Ranch.
It is.
Because it comes from an ancient native Indian curse.
Yes.
Is it?
That's where it actually comes from. It's where it's called Skinwalker Ranch.
Navajo?
Navajo,
Yeah.
Yeah. So I believe it's the Navajos. So whoever the Navajos took it from, I believe, put the curse on the land.
Yes.
And that's why it's called the Skinwalker Ranch. And there's been sightings of the paranormal. There's been sightings of UFOs or UPAs, as they are now known, but we're old school.
I prefer UFO.
I prefer
Yeah, I prefer
UFOs.
UAPs is just
Everyone knows what it means, right?
Yeah, UFOs, like, bicycles with big baskets trying to go home. We know what a UFO is.
Yeah.
Let's stick to that.
Yeah.
And in the National Geographic or History Channel, whatever it is, series, they have been doing scientific crazy experiments. They've got like super speed video cameras finding the little dots in the sky. They think it's a dimension to another world.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, after watching it for 72 hours, definitely not on any medication, I believe. But the story's great as well. So when the now second previous owners purchased it,
Is this the Shermans?
the Shermans.
No, after the Shermans.
After the Shermans. So the Shermans were there and is it, I can't pronounce the name properly. Is it Knobes? I think it's got like a silent K in the front of the name. I might go wrong. Anyway, the people bought it when they first went there. It was like fortified.
Yeah.
Like there were like deadbolts in the internal doors.
Yeah.
And they were the chains for giant guard dogs. And they thought, oh, well, it's in the middle of Utah. There isn't much happening. They just kind of let it slide because old couple might be paranoid for safety. We can understand that. But then crazy, bonkers shit started happening.
Yeah, and this is the consistent thing, is that everyone who's owned or lived in this ranch since the Shermans, which we will talk about, has experienced this stuff.
Yeah.
And more and more, as journalists before, more and more people have bought it to set up cameras to try to create camera traps to capture some footage of this stuff. And everyone that's pretty much lived there has had some kind of experience there.
And the thing is, because sometimes when we see, especially when it comes to aliens, I think, you go like, oh, yeah, that kind of happened in the middle of nowhere to some random person who feels like they need the attention.
Yeah.
At this place, consistently, every single person who goes there has some mad, crazy, bonkers thing that happens. And I do believe, David, and I know, because I could sense the eye roll happening, right? Oh, no, it's okay. Right? But like when someone's on stage, like a conjurer's on stage, and they go, oh, just eat the onion. And what does it taste like? And they say it's an apple. Anyone could just go and like eat an onion because it's like they've got the peer pressure of the audience.
Yep.
And I know people who are going here probably think, oh, we need to find something mad.
Yep.
But that doesn't really explain why all of the scientific equipment starts going crazy.
No, it doesn't
They
explain
can't drill through certain parts of the ground.
Also, some of the people who've owned it are actual scientists.
Yeah.
These aren't people who are looking necessarily for a story. They are scientists who've gone there to study what's happening. They don't necessarily believe everything that's gone before, but they want to know what's happening, right? Because in their eyes, I think everything can be explained in some way, even if it's not paranormal, even if it's not UFOs, it can be explained in some way. And that's what they're trying to prove, right? How can we actually explain this stuff? So in Navajo tradition, the Skinwalker is not a campfire tale, but a figure of fear, a witch who has abandoned humanity to gain the power to transform into beasts, slither into homes, and wield malicious influence. Though the ranch sits on historical land, it's actually not on Navajo land specifically. The term Skinwalker became intertwined with the area through regional folklore. According to some narratives, the land itself may have been touched by malevolent forces, a place where cursed beings moved long ago, creatures that watched from the brush and slipped between the trees long after the sun fell. Yeah.
It is proper crazy. But it's not just... So the Skinwalker thing, the first one they talk about is when the new owners go there.
Yeah.
And they've got calves. I can't remember exactly. I think
so
it's called
just to
calf.
give a bit of context, so you're talking about the Shermans. Okay?
Yeah.
So the Shermans moved in. So this is Terry and Gwen Sherman. They bought the ranch in 1994 and they were looking for solitude, cattle and a peaceful life. But there were loads of incidents that happened to the Shermans, which they were not looking for. And I think this is the thing. This is not a couple who were going out looking for a story or...
They specifically said they wanted this ranch because it's in the middle of Utah, which is Mormon country. It's like it's like the most peaceful place in America.
Yes.
Right? And they just wanted to raise their family and they wanted to have their farm. They just wanted a peaceful life.
Yep.
They had zero interest in anything to do with this. And then are you about to tell the story when the alien's eating the first calf?
Yeah,
No, that's not the first thing that
that's
happened.
not the first thing that happened. No,
Is it?
there's a number of things that happened before that. But your knowledge of this, did that mostly come from the Shermans?
The Shermans, yeah, because the when the Shermans moved in, it was all reinforced. The property was reinforced, and I can't remember who the name of the people that were. It was an old couple.
Yeah, I think.
And the wife died, and the husband was there on his own.
Yeah.
For a while, like he didn't report his wife being dead.
Yeah.
I mean, that sounds more macabre than it actually is. He was in the middle of nowhere. He was an old man, like it wasn't that sinister, but he was definitely in a horrible place. And he talked about his wife being abducted at one point. Why can't I remember their name? Anyway, when the Shermans took it over, they did, like you were saying, they just wanted a quiet life. And initially they quite enjoyed it. They were able to make the place nice. They were enjoying it. They were going to have some livestock and what have you. We're just going to keep it simple.
Yeah.
The
Simple life.
simple life.
The good life.
The good life.
Yeah.
The good life. Except one night they saw a huge, dare I say it, fuck off wolf.
Yeah.
Huge wolf. And now wolves, like I'm fascinated by wolves. I used to think a wolf was just the size of a big dog, and then I actually saw a wolf and went, oh no, a wolf is a very different thing from a big dog. And I've got a friend who has big dogs, bull mastiffs and what have you. Has a Instagram page for his latest dog. Anyway, my point is, wolves are huge.
Yeah.
And this was a huge wolf.
Bigger than Wolf from Gladiators.
Bigger than Wolf from Gladiators.
Is that even possible?
That's the size we're talking about.
Oh.
Not as scary, obviously.
Obviously
but-
not.
And an interesting
It's
point
all in
about the
the
size of the wolf.
Yeah.
So there is a species of wolf that's died out called a dire wolf. A lot of people think that's a mythological thing. There were actually a huge variety of wolves, and when this was seen, there was actually talk of, are there still dire wolves? And that was sort of the initial Skinwalker Ranch incident, and then other shit happened. Take it away,
but
Steve.
So when I heard the story, and I've heard it told, like not from them, but told from different YouTubers and documentaries, is they can see one of the newborn calves, and they're trying to pull the calf from the fencing, and so he gets an axe handle. Starts trying to hit the wolf, and the wolf does nothing. Then he gets his son to go and get a handgun.
Yeah.
I don't know much about. It's like a .345 Magnum, I think, from memory, and he shoots it at point blank range twice.
Doesn't do anything.
Nothing happens.
Nothing happens, yeah.
Then he asks his son to go run and get his hunting rifle. He runs, gets the hunting rifle, shoots it, and it kind of just looks at him like, "Oh, you want me to go away?" Like, kind of not menacing, but not
very
hurt.
calmly, very calmly.
And it's like as if the alien. Or
It kind of struts away.
Yeah, it's
a
like
little bitch.
It's like it's like you don't realise you're where I live.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you're tolerated.
Yeah.
Not the other way round. Is kind of the
This
feeling
is my
I got.
town.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
that's the
exactly,
feeling
yeah.
I got.
Sassy. Sassy wolf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sassy wolf.
You're right. Massive wolf, much bigger than any natural wolf. It strode calmly towards them. It moved with deliberate intelligence. Its eyes were level with Terry, Sherman's chest.
And they describe him as like 6 foot as well.
Yeah, he's tall.
Yeah. So he's
bigger
not a
than him.
little dude.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then it lunges at a calf through the bars of the coral. And then, so Terry, as you said, shoots at it point blank. The wolf doesn't move. 2 more shots, then nothing. When he fired the final round, the wolf released the calf, then backs away very calmly, and then just generally sort of trots off back into the brush, leaving no blood, no tracks, and no sign it was ever there. And that's the thing. That's the weird part about it. There's nothing. There's no sign of it.
Well, also, I assume we're going to go on to this, is they find murdered livestock.
Yes.
But not as if it's been attacked by a wolf like we would think, or have been attacked by like a wild animal or a bear, where it would just be ripped to bits.
Yeah.
The dead livestock are found surgically cut up, their internal organs removed, but their head and spinal column is perfect. There isn't any blood on the ground, but the grass around the corpse is dead.
Yep.
Like, it's proper strange and spooky what is happening there.
Almost like aliens were just probing.
Yeah. Ooh, like what you did there.
Well, this is where it blends, isn't it? Because
Yes.
you have the Wolfman type myth, and then you have there's a sort of heavy amount of UFO alien-y type stuff that kind of intersects with this, really.
If you had a conspiracy theory and you're like, I need to put money on one,
Yeah.
right, aliens would be the one I would put my money on. Right, and I'll explain why, just so you think I'm properly bonkers.
Yeah.
But mathematically, if the universe is forever expanding and completely, expanding, and there's no limit to what is possible.
Yep.
If it is infinite, every opportunity must appear.
Yes.
And therefore, there must be other life forms. The question really isn't, are there other life forms? Because there must be. The question must be, have they found us?
Yeah.
So I think yes, there must be other life forms in the universe. Have they found us? Is my question. And I think the interesting question
Found the Shermans.
Well, the interesting question for this and with the Shermans is: are they aliens, or wait for it?
Yeah.
Wait for it. Are they people from the future that have come back? Which is the other concept of aliens, that actually it's us in the future and we've come back to look at us.
Time travel.
Yeah, as an older civilization.
Okay.
And so what it is when you're looking at people, because we're like the chimpanzees in the zoo, they can't be there in whatever current form they are, because it would stop us doing whatever we're doing. So being able to walk about like a wolf or a dog, which is commonly comes up in the documentaries about Skinwalker Ranch, that would make more sense. You could like mingle with the people you're observing.
So do we think that this is because we're talking about shape-shifting ultimately, aren't we? So do we think that we're talking about one being shape-shifting into the wolf, or multiple things, or do we think there are if this is a sort of colony of shapeshifters that are able to?
I'm going B.
You're going B?
I think, yeah.
Well, the initially the large wolf was considered to have been a skinwalker, or at least that was posited.
Yes.
And then other things started to happen. There are other dark beings that are seen, which ties in with the idea of the Dark Watchers, which is a phenomenon in California and New Mexico. So it's sort of, and shadow people as well. Shadow people are part of it as well. What is so interesting about Skinwalker Ranch is the whole kit and caboodle's in there. Everything in the kitchen sink. You know, all we're missing are vampires and ghost children, and they're probably there at some point. You know.
Well, they say that
so.
they say it that around Area 51, which I assume you probably covered on your podcast more than once.
Spoken about it a few times.
You might have spoken once or twice.
Oh, what's
But-
that?
Yeah, I know exactly. But around there, they say there are different types of alien beings. And there's the ones which are quite friendly, and they're the ones which they always describe more as like lizards or like praying mantis, which are normally the not nice ones.
Yeah.
But any normal civilian that has an encounter with either, they think that the human scientists at Area 51 are the proper butchers.
Yeah.
They're actually like the aliens that have had, or the people who claim they've had alien encounters there. And so what I'm interested, so when we go back to Skywalker Ranch, if that is like an entrance, that's like the King's Cross of Earth, so
Yeah.
to speak.
Yeah.
A big central station.
No, but a big central station. And especially when you go into the big documentaries and there's like this dome thing they can't drill into, and there's this electromagnetic hemisphere where you can't fly drones through it.
Yeah.
Like, it's really mad what is happening there.
Yeah,
And
it is
as
mad.
as you say, and you said at the very start of the podcast, this isn't like us three have got together, eaten some muffins, put on some tie-dye and some Grateful Dead and gone to look at some stuff in the sky. These are proper people who have worked for governments, like reputable universities, proper scientists actually trying to find out what's happening.
Yeah.
And when you get like, you see like walking around a castle, oh, that's spooky. Like, you're like, oh, fuck off. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
when these people are like, well, look, these are the images of things we can't describe flying, and here are the pictures. You're like, oh, that's quite interesting.
Yep.
Or like why they can't drill through stuff, or why all of a sudden the drones stop at exactly the same point.
Yep.
Yeah, it's
a lot.
It's very well done. If it's
very
a
well done.
yeah.
And it's kind of hard to believe that it is, because we were talking about successive groups of people, none of whom are sort of related
Nope.
in any way. So for them all to have those sort of stories and to be a consistency of that, it does seem a bit unfathomable. You think, well, if there was nothing there would be a team that would go in and go, no, do you know what, it was all just
it's
bullshit.
garbage.
Yeah, so
But also the owners is the crazy thing.
the owners are the crazy thing, because they weren't looking for this.
No, but the owners, as the history of the ownership goes on,
Yeah.
all of a sudden now it's like owned by a company that does like scientific research.
Yeah, but also they're not doing it as a kind of tourist
No.
destination thing. They're doing it for genuine research.
Yeah.
So let's talk about
So
some of
that
the
was
other,
we had the Shermans. They encountered the wolf.
Yes.
Cattle mutilations.
So
And
Very
there's a few
similar
other things that we need to talk about with
yeah, of
that they
course.
did. Okay, so there were also voices in the air. So on multiple evenings, the Shermans heard deep, guttural voices speaking in a language they couldn't identify. The sound floated above them as if from an unseen beings perched just beyond sight. Terry scanned the trees with a flashlight, but couldn't find the source. Only the prickling sensation that he was being watched. I think they were hearing this a lot, and that story is quite consistent with some of the other groups of people that also lived on the ranch as well.
And that's consistent with the Dark Watchers phenomenon. So the Dark Watchers, which is in California, you go in the California wastelands. That's not the right word, hills. And you'll see.
I thought that just was California now.
Well, I'm not going to say anything. I'm not an American. But when you see the Dark Watchers, you will also hear them.
Yes.
That's what the sort of similarities are. Although these aren't Dark Watchers, that's not what I'm talking about. But
Yeah.
it's very interesting, all the different phenomenon. Also, this could be a gas leak.
Yeah,
but-
or fairies.
Or fairies.
Or it always could be the leprechauns,
Yeah.
right? But what about the crazy cows? Do you know about the cows?
Yeah.
The cows is the bonkers thing, Dave. As soon as you hear about the cows, we're going to change your mind.
So we can talk about the cows. So you're talking about the mutilations of the cows.
No,
right?
I'm not talking about the mutilations.
Okay.
The mutilations are like the hors d'oeuvre for the whole livestock
Let's
thing.
talk about mutilations, because that's part of this one, and because we will go into that bit as well.
Yeah.
So the mutilations, cattle began to turn up dead, laid out with surgical precision,
Yeah.
like you said earlier. In one case, a cow was discovered entirely drained of blood, its organs removed without any incision marks, no tracks surrounding the carcass, not human, animal, or otherwise. And this was quite consistent. They had this a number of times,
Yeah.
I think, with the cattle.
And the thing is, it's not that humans couldn't do it, but for a human to be able to surgically dissect a cow, leaving no blood in the middle of nowhere,
Yeah.
you would have noticed it would have happened, because there would have had to have been tracks for the vans and all the equipment, right? And so that's bonkers. And when you look in like our own kingdom of animals, you do have certain insects that will completely drain and dehydrate their prey. So that's not uncommon in the animal kingdom. But being removed surgically, like the internal organs surgically being removed, leaving the spinal column perfect, like that suggests a level of intelligence and skill far beyond what we would expect from like what would be native to.
Yes. And we do have to reiterate, this place is very, very remote as well.
Crazy remote.
Yeah.
Crazy remote.
So one other thing that there's a few other things they have, but the vanishing footprints. So on winter mornings, large tracks appeared in the snow, paw prints much bigger than any dog or wolf. Terry followed them for nearly a mile, only to watch them suddenly stop mid-stride in the middle of an open field. No return prints, no sign of flight, as if the creature just stepped into thin air. So this happened, I think, quite often. They would see that, and these are sort of consistent things that they would see about it. They lived there for 2 years, and then they moved out because they were planning to live there, I think, for their entire retirement. And there were so many incidents like this, they just got properly freaked out and just went, right, we're off.
But
Mm.
when he sells it, he remains as I think in England we'd call it the gamekeeper. In America, they call it like the ranch head or whatever.
Yeah.
So he moves away, and so his family move away, like to a farm kind of close.
Yeah.
But appreciate kind of close is still probably 50 miles away,
Yeah, yeah.
100 miles away. And he takes a couple of cattle there just for ease, because obviously he's there a lot, and is the gamekeeper.
Yeah.
For the next owners who are more aware of this and are scientists.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. And they're there. And then all of a sudden, more mad shit starts happening. The two maddest things, in my humble opinion, are the cow thing,
Yep.
where they lose a load of cows.
Yeah.
And they're like, and these aren't cows. I think they're described, I think I've seen two stories. So I don't know if it's the same story being told twice or two different instances. But one where it's just cows and one where it's like proper bulls. So breeding bulls. And they like find them and they're all in a tiny little shed. And there would be no way a herder would be able to get these animals in such a tiny space. They wouldn't be there. And then he shouts at them and like throws water on them, and they come out of a trance and literally nearly destroy this little wooden hut. And that happens twice, to my understanding. And the other thing is he loses something which puts like fence posts in the ground. And this is like a big, heavy bit of machinery, and it just disappears.
Yeah.
It just disappears. And they find it up a fucking tree. So it's not like your local 12-year-old scallywags have come over.
Well, no, because there are no local.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but or even like people go, like we'll sneak into this scary place. They've moved a crazy bit of industrial equipment onto the top of a tree. You couldn't do it.
So let's give some context as to who we're talking about here, because after the Shermans moved out, this was bought by a billionaire called Rob Bigelow. He deployed a specialist team of scientists under the National Institute for Discovery Science, so it's called NIDS. Their mission was to monitor, measure, and explain the phenomena. But these are the experiences that they had when they were doing this. So we're not just talking about two people that lived there. We're now talking about a team of people with, as you said, scientific equipment that are there to study the ranch.
It is proper batshit bonkers,
Yeah.
whatever's happening there. And when you start watching, I think it's the History Channel, if you just go onto like Sky and type in Skywalker Ranch, like loads and loads, like seasons of stuff appears.
Did you watch this? Have you watched?
Yes.
And there's a movie about it as well, which is the most common one, which has got the pictures. Have you seen the picture of the Skinwalker?
I've seen illustrations of it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Pictures.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But had you seen that before had you seen that before, basically?
Yes, because Skinwalker Ranch is decades now at this point. Like, as much as I want the 90s to only mean 10 years ago, that's more than 20 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, this happened before this started before the Spice Girls were out, before Britney Spears.
That's proper history.
Right? So that's historical. You know, like the Baby One More Time is yet to happen in the narrative that we're talking about.
Oh my God.
And that's like, how can you live without,
Yeah.
like, I met someone that was born in 2002, and I'm like, you were born after Baby One More Time? Like,
I teach,
Well,
David,
black and white before then as well.
Yeah.
So it's harder to make these things
I
up.
teach maths, right? And I'm explaining angles to someone going, you're like Madonna voguing.
Yeah.
And they went, who's Madonna?
yes, homophobia is rife in our school system.
Honestly, I've never felt
Steve's
so
trying to bring it back in. No, sorry, he's not. The invisible stalker. So on multiple nights, the NIDS researchers observed a large, dark shape moving through trees, something on two legs, but not quite human. Thermal cameras detected a man-sized, heartless figure, colder than the surrounding air. When approached, the shape vanished, but the oppressive feeling of being watched remained. So I don't know whether this was the wolf creature they're seeing or it shapeshifted into something else, but it's consistent, that kind of with the wolf story in a sense, isn't it? Because
And they also, there's a smell they always say.
Yeah.
There's like this strange
Yes.
musty odor
Yeah.
that is common through every single person who has been there. So it's, the consistency.
it is hot though.
Yeah, but the consistency of experience.
Yes.
It like that doesn't seem the same with some of the other, very haunted places or very alien-like places. This one seems to be the most consistent
It is
experience
consistent, yeah.
through every single person who's been there. And I don't know how much of that is you can eat an onion when a magician tells you it's an apple and you're doing it because you feel obliged to say it. But because of the quality of people there, and by quality of people I mean the scientific learning,
Yep.
they're not going to be swayed by something. Obviously they must have an interest in it, but when you watch the documentaries or read from them, they're not I want to believe, they're like I want to find out what's happening.
Yes, that's it. Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
And I think
Yeah.
that's a very different mindset from when you see some of that, and I don't want to use the term crackpot because it's unfair on
And this is where it
crackpots
differs from the people that go to and research, say, Roswell or Area 51, because they are people who are looking for the story. They're looking to monetize it. They're looking to make these crazy documentaries. That's not what these teams were doing. That was not their intent. So there's.
Do you know something though, Phil? And you haven't mentioned it,
Yeah.
and I think it's really important to mention. When the original sellers, so the old couple left, the wife died, right? So when the Shermans left, when they sold it to the next individual, there was a clause in the sale that they couldn't dig on the property
Yes, yeah.
without prior arrangement. And every time they've tried to dig since, that's when the disturbances increase.
Yeah.
Right, and also there's like a dome in the ground where they describe it as a dome in a triangle. They can't drill through. And when they've managed to chip it and they've done like scientific tests, and it's the same type of material, the ceramic material they use on spaceships, NASA use on spaceships. And that's what they're finding in the ground there.
Yep.
It's mad.
One of the because there's so many explanations about Skinwalker Ranch or what could be happening, whatever, is the idea that a UAP, a UFO, had crash landed there, and it was buried, and that's what's causing it all. So you're getting this whole sci-fi, alien visitors point of view, but also they're dead aliens. So you're getting the ghost and the supernatural, and you're also getting interdimensional stuff.
Yep.
So like I said, Skinwalker Ranch is everything, it's all everything mixed in together. But the thing is, people are experiencing this phenomenon. So it's like, you have to parse that out. You have to go, right, well, it can be the skinwalkers as in a supernatural thing. It could also be aliens. Why couldn't they, interact? Which is like one of the updates for World of Warcraft Online. But anyway.
Do you ever think though, when people say they've seen like an angel, for example, I always think that's probably an alien.
Well,
In my mind, because for me, it's more likely
In a way,
they're aliens
kind
than
of is.
angels.
It's come
Could
from
be
another
the same
world.
thing.
Yeah.
Could be the same thing.
Yeah.
like when Anakin saw Padme. Are you an angel?
that
Are you an
Star Trek?
actor? No, that's unkind. That's unkind.
Do you know about the portal of light? You have this one. So this is one of the most unsettling events. Researchers saw a bright oval of golden light open silently in midair, hovering several feet above the ground. Though the night vision equipment, they described seeing a dark humanoid creature crawl out of the opening, drop to the earth, and then run off into the night. The portal then shrinks and snaps shut.
Yeah.
You've seen the same thing at King's Cross Station, haven't you?
Yeah.
Right? I'm just
Yeah.
trying to.
Well, if you've ever run platform 9 3/4,
Yeah.
happens all the time, mostly to kids. Yeah.
How often do people run into the wall?
Not often enough. 'Cause I've sat at that tourist spot, watching tourists run at the wall, and
People have done it.
it is well worth watching.
Yeah. Do you
I
need
don't
the
really like
popcorn?
kids, so for me, it's entertainment. I don't think it is for parents, less so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, your favourite bit of Home Alone is when they leave the child.
love that.
Yeah, love that. Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah.
I watched both back to back yesterday as well, and I'm like, how does this happen twice? Come on.
Have you got the edit with Trump in?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Isn't there a version where they edit Trump out of it?
I bet there is.
Yeah.
I bet you Trump's got an edit where he's in the whole thing.
Yeah. There's a few.
If you're not at home,
there's
come and
quite
stay in a
few-
hotel.
There's quite a few cameos in it as well. Molly Ringwood's in it briefly
Yeah.
as well. There's loads.
Yeah.
80 star, Molly Ringwood.
Oh.
Redhead
Yeah, from the Breakfast Club.
from the Breakfast Club.
Ah, and 16 Candles.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Pink.
Don't worry. We've got an encyclopedic knowledge of pretty redheads.
good.
Wow.
Let's get off that. Electronics go blind. This is what you were talking about earlier, right? Where the electronics go down. This, which is, in fairness, is common. Where we've talked about these occurrences before. Actually, nothing quite like this we've discussed before, but where there's been potential UAP sightings or paranormal activity, this is a fairly consistent story. So electronics go blind. Every attempt to document activity seemed thwarted. Cameras failed. Sensors malfunctioned. Batteries drained simultaneously. Something did not want to be recorded, and had the power to make sure that it wasn't. After years of inconclusive but deeply disturbing findings, NIDS ceased operations, leaving behind more questions than answers. So they did all this research, and they still could not give answers to why these things were happening.
Yeah.
Well,
Which seems like a huge waste of time.
but so the recent unexplained flying phenomena that the Pentagon released. So the images, I think they're from battleships and fighter jets.
Yeah.
So not being able to be tracked is technically an act of war. I don't know if you knew that. So if there was like a Russian jet, it should be known that there is a Russian jet there. Everyone should know
He's
it's
against the
there.
ID card, so he's...
No, but
against the
for the purposes, because during the Cold War, we nearly blew each other up by mistake. I think that's quite well known. So in the rules of war, which sounds a strange thing to say,
Yes.
in general, in the rules of war, actually all fighter jets can be traced by everybody because they fly.
Yeah.
Practice.
Yeah.
So not being allowed to be followed by a radar is technically an act of war. So when that was happening with the stuff the Pentagon released, they're like, we cannot follow this. Technically, that's an act of war. So they knew that that's not another, that is either so top secret from China or Russia, or it's something else.
Yeah.
And when we see this and nothing can track it,
Yeah.
there is no reason in the middle of Utah, literally in the middle of nowhere, a area of ground which is probably 3 square meters, like 3 square miles. Like it's not exactly
512. It's massive. It's very large.
Yeah, no, but what I'm saying is the area where you can't record it
Yeah.
is inside the ranch,
It is,
which
yes,
is massive.
yes.
But we could understand if you're a warmonger, having flying planes over the sea is important. You could see that strategically. But why in the middle of Utah?
Well, yeah.
It makes no sense why it's in the middle of Utah, which to me raises more questions as well. Because then why would China have something with Utah? They might be flying drones in the middle of the sea.
Yeah.
I can get that.
Yeah.
But if you were an alien and you were trying to hide, under the sea and in the middle of Utah would be the first 2 places.
I mean, under the sea would be, you'd think, less conspicuous.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole idea of UFOs that are seen in the sea. There's a name for it. It's not UAP.
Mermaids?
Mermaids. But like they're
Sebastian, I think his name is.
Yeah,
It's a really good song.
Yeah.
but like there are weird things seen at sea. But I mean, the thing about Skinwalker Ranch is it's a hat on a hat on a hat.
Yes.
You've got the supernatural stuff. You've got people traumatized. You've got people dying. You've got weird things happening, like the bulls going crazy and equipment in trees.
Yes.
But then you've got dimensional portals open and dark figures come out of it, and it's like what is it's too much
endless,
stuff.
exactly. It is.
You know,
I mean, so from the NIDS team, it then goes under new ownership, and the new owners have fitted it out with more sophisticated technology. So although the NIDS team had a budget, it's now very, very sophisticated that the current ranch has. So
Because didn't a billionaire buy it or something?
yeah,
Billionaires
that was
got
second.
some-
He bought it. He set up NIDS, but since then, I think I'm not actually sure who the purchaser is, but they've got a lot more money, and the technology's advanced quite significantly now. So we're now talking in the last sort of 10, 15, 20 years, right? So electromagnetic spikes that interfere with aircraft. Modern investigators often record sudden, violent bursts of electromagnetic activity over the ranch. Spikes so severe they disrupt drones, communications equipment, and even aircraft passing overhead. The spikes appear without warning, like an unseen pulse radiating from Earth itself, or like something hovering invisibly alone. So this is what you're talking about, being unable to track it, essentially. Pilots have reported similar disruptions, radios filling with static that contain faint unintelligible voices, navigation panels flickering, compasses spinning wildly. I mean, this is film stuff, isn't it? This is X-Files type stuff.
Hat on a hat on a hat.
Yeah,
It's too much. It's too much. But it's all documented.
Do you think it's too much to the point where you're skeptical?
Well, no, I'm not skeptical about this. Something's going on, but what that something is, we don't know.
That's something is batshit bonkers there.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Why it's batshit bonkers is underneath that ground a Black Ops American scientific site, and they're just doing mad crazy experiments on stuff we don't need to know.
Yeah.
And that's why the new owners are kind of connected to the American government. There's something strange with the ownership of that land.
Yes.
Because if anyone commercially minded bought it, it would have, your Skinwalker Ranch T-shirts and your Skinwalker Ranch porridge. They would have turned it into UFO Disneyland. But they would have, wouldn't they?
I would go.
I would
Absolutely go
We
to
would
that.
do an episode there,
Yeah.
right? But it hasn't. It's literally been kept. No public aren't allowed on it. Like you can't just go turn up.
No.
Something fucking strangers.
If you'd like us to visit Skinwalker Ranch, join our Patreon.
Yes.
And help us get there.
Yes.
All three of us.
Yeah, Once Steve's knees fixed. The unidentified orbs. You know about the orbs?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So the orbs are among the most frequently reported things. Actually, very frequently reported. So they are glowing spheres. They range from the size of baseballs to beach balls. They move with a deliberate, intelligent grace. Some drift silently a few inches above the ground, weaving through a sagebrush as if scanning the terrain. Others streak across the night sky at impossible speeds, turning sharply without slowing down. So these are seen quite a lot and reported by multiple parties that have entered this. So witnesses often describe a feeling of dread when the orbs appear, as though the lights were not merely observing but evaluating, which sort of suggests aliens, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or something.
Or something.
Going aliens. Going aliens.
See,
I think I'm sold on this.
The thing is, pre-drones, as in like drone technology, this would look weird. Now you think, well, it's just a drone.
Yeah, but the drones, you can hear the drones because they make that crazy noise,
yeah.
right? And also they can't turn that sharply.
No.
And also they've got a finite range unless you've got a mad military drone, and they're not designed to come back.
Yeah.
They're just designed to arrive and explode.
Yeah.
Yeah, the way that the stuff moves. And also, you couldn't fly a drone using RF frequencies if your RF radio isn't working. Yeah. So either they all work or none of it works.
Yeah.
So if you're manipulating the magnetic fields, that would make sense why the compasses don't work. If you're interfering with that general spectrum of electromagnetic waves, it would affect light and sound and radio waves.
Yeah.
Right? But then you wouldn't also then be able to have the drones flying about. You can't have them both.
No.
So if you can see drones flying about and then nothing's working, that's when it's like, how the fuck's that working?
Well, exactly. That's the thing. Because you're right. If it was man operated, it would be difficult to see how when you've got that level of interference going on. Yeah, it's very true.
And
I like to think it's the little drones from Batteries Not Included. I like to think it's them.
I love that movie.
I love that film.
Do you think the from Short Circuit that Johnny Five is like building them?
I think he's doing that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Johnny Five's
That's what he's doing in his retirement.
He thought he could have, I like thinking Johnny Five with arthritis, with another can of WD-40 going, okay, it's my third one of the day, but I need it, don't judge me.
God. With Fisher Stevens doing an incredibly alarming accent. So health episodes, including radiation burns. So the paranormal at Skinwalker Ranch doesn't just manifest in lights and sound. It sometimes leaves physical marks. Researchers have suffered sudden, severe health episodes without any clear cause. So skin reddening in circular patterns, as if from concentrated radiation, sudden nausea and vertigo, migraines with no prior history, temporary memory lapses, and swelling in tissues deep within the skull. One of the most dramatic cases occurred when a team member climbed the mesa to set up monitoring equipment. Minutes later, he collapsed, disorientated, unable to speak clearly. Emergency scans revealed acute cerebral swelling, the kind typically seen after a serious traumatic injury, despite the man having suffered no fall, no blow, and no accident. But we do know radiation does stuff to your brain, right? I mean,
but it wouldn't happen.
It wouldn't happen instantly. Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah.
Well, no, it would happen instantly, but it wouldn't just happen to them. It would
happen to everyone. You're right. Yeah.
Well, and they wouldn't be able to go and get him because that whole area would have radiation to it.
Not if it was focused microwave radiation energy weapons. David,
I've been
the women of Greenham Common were bombarded with microwave radiation, and it's only now starting to come like, well, actually, we kind of did something. Which is a protest group in the 80s.
They did get good tans out of it, though, didn't they?
Yeah, well. Yeah, but radiation can affect how your brain processes things.
Oh, no, of course.
So and you can become deeply paranoid. You can become feeling dread. So yes, this could all be in someone's head, and it could be because of microwave.
It was in his head.
Yeah, it could be because of microwave radiation. However, there's documentation, there's things filmed, there's things recorded, so it corroborates.
Yeah.
What they're saying.
He could have had that before he went there.
Yeah, he could have done that.
He literally could have had that brain injury, walks up there, and then all of a sudden, just out of complete coincidence, that is the point in time where he's fallen unconscious.
Yeah. I mean, doctors couldn't find an explanation for it. And the man later described the sensation as standing too close to a silent explosion I couldn't hear. Wow. Which is a very specific description.
Wow. It sounds like something fun.
Yeah. So objects in the sky that appear intelligent, evasive and aware. On countless nights, the investigation team had detected objects that seem aware of being tracked. Radar systems lock onto a target only for the object to blink and out and reappear miles away instantaneously. Cameras point towards a strange light only for the light to dim, drift behind a cloud or dart off the moment the lens is focused. So it feels like they're watching us watching them.
Yep.
And know what to do in that circumstance.
Yeah, I feel like we're the chimpanzees in the cave.
Exactly that. Yeah,
and they are watching us.
Yeah.
And
so they've gone there to investigate them, but they're actually being investigated themselves.
No.
Yeah, which is fun.
Yeah,
And ironic.
Who's the watcher?
Who's the watcher? Who watches the Watchmen?
Who watches the Watchmen? Exactly. Witnesses swear these objects behave not like machines, but like creatures, reacting, retracting, hiding, and sometimes approaching with intent. The sky above Skinwalker Ranch feels less like empty space and more like an occupied territory.
King's Cross.
King's Cross. King's Cross. In one case, a researcher climbing a ridge was struck by an invisible force so intense it caused sudden brain swelling, requiring emergency medical treatment. Another team recorded a metallic object hovering silently above the mesa, vanishing as quickly as it had happened. The ranch continues to behave like a living organism, responding to attention with unpredictability, sometimes violently. Is it an organism?
Is it an actual thing?
Yeah.
Aren't we all an organism? Just depends your point of view.
Circle of
You're
life.
thinking, Steve.
Yeah.
I like the way you're
Yeah.
thinking. 3 days on YouTube's got a bad name. So
Sold a kidney.
Sold a kidney,
got a plane ticket to Utah. Take me with you.
it's fair to say we are sitting in a room where the both of you are on quite a lot of medication.
That is true. I can't deny that.
So, whether Skinwalker Ranch is a supernatural nexus, a hotspot of rare natural phenomena, or a psychological mirror held up to our deepest fears, one truth remains. Anyone who goes there comes away changed. Some leave with questions, others with nightmares, a few perhaps with the unsettling sense that something followed them home. For on this land where wolves ignore bullets and portals open in the night, the boundary between worlds is thin, dangerously thin, and some say it grows thinner still. So, Steve, is Skinwalker Ranch a paranormal and UFO hotspot?
I'm going UFO over paranormal. That's my gut feeling.
Okay.
UFOs. I think Alien King's Cross.
Yep.
Yep.
David?
There's a TV show called Ben 10, and in that all supernatural stuff is actually some kind of weird alien. One of Ben 10's characters is Ghostface. He turns out to be a bad guy. It's a really great episode, and his cousin turns out to have magic abilities, but it's really because she's half alien. Anyway, my point is, yes.
Okay. So you agree with Steve, basically?
No. I think it's all
interconnected.
It's all interconnected. It's skinwalkery, alien-y. There's radiation equipment going on. Science. It's basically the Marvel universe, but in a ranch.
I agree with you on the radiation thing. I think that seems to be a logical explanation for all of this. I don't necessarily think it's UFO, but I do. But then, by the literal definition of UFO, it could be, right? As in, we don't know what it was. It may be man-made from another country. Could be something like that crashed down in decades. It could be something along those sort of lines. But I do think it's more. It feels like that's the most logical explanation, if there's any at all.
I think that if it was something we'd known had crashed, which humans had made, I think the government would have gone in there, just taken the land and had it.
Yeah.
That's why I'm worried. So the thing under the ground, if you watch the documentaries like we've spoken about, there is something, they don't know what's under the ground, but like the idea that it could be like a spaceship that has crash landed.
Yeah.
Surely you would have thought the American government would have gone in and just gone, this land is now ours.
Yeah, but we don't know what agreements they have with the International Universal.
Yeah, they don't know what agreement they've got with the aliens.
We also do know that the Nazis live inside the Earth as well, so it could be.
And the moon.
And the moon.
And Antarctica.
Isn't there a movie about the Nazis being on the dark side of the moon? Is it called Iron Sky?
Iron Sky.
Yeah.
And the Australian prom horror movie is called The Loved Ones.
There you go.
That is a
Full
good
circle.
movie.
Full circle.
Oh, is that it done?
And on that note, Steve, would you like to tell people where they can find you, where they can follow you, all that sort of stuff?
Oh, well, you can come and see me on Comedy Incorporated, which is Tuesdays, Wednesdays and Thursdays. Tuesdays at Haggerston Signature Brew, Wednesdays in Putney at the Railway Pub, and Thursdays Ballams, Hagen and Hyde, Tall Tales and Cocktails, twice monthly. Camden Comedy Club, you'll be able to see the wonderful Phil Green there on the third Sunday of the first month. We have the Glitch Theatre also starting next year. Will be 2 Tall Tales a month.
Beautiful.
How exciting is that?
Very
We're at the
exciting. Glitch is lovely.
We're at the Rosebery Branch Theatre for their storytelling festival the last Friday of January as well, as this goes out in January. You'll see us loads in February. You'll see the wonderful Phil there. You'll see David there as well. Come and join us and talk to us about it.
And is there an online resource?
Oh, yes. So you can find me personally on Instagram on Steve 3 H's, Comedy Incorporated, or Tall Tales and Cocktails. Very easy to find me.
We will put a link in the show notes to check their shows out there. Please do. Would you both like a shapeshifter joke to end the podcast?
Absolutely.
Fuck yes.
Okay. What do you call a shapeshifter that turns into a human after being an owl? A who-man.
He's here all week. Try the fish.
That's why I'm on his charity shows. It's that level. That's the end of the podcast. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Please give us a little 5-star rating wherever you get your podcasts. And if you'd like to help support us further, why not check out patreon.com/BelievePod for exclusive episodes, early access, and ad-free listening. Remember, we love you.